Hi Gemini and Gemini Rising. Here's your horoscope for June 2024. I'm astrologer Joseph Anthony. Okay, big month ahead. This is because Jupiter is now transiting your first house of identity and self. As you can see here, this time of the year, the sun is going through your sign, but we also have Venus going through your sign, and then we'll have Mercury coming through your sign. And we're also going to have a new moon in Gemini in your first house of identity and self. So this is what I mean by a big month ahead. So you're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel like reinventing yourself. You're going to feel like traveling. You're going to feel restless. You're going to feel like, you have all this extra energy to go do things because of Jupiter in the sign in the first house. So there's, the need to express yourself goes through the roof as well, because you're the sign of communication, and Jupiter in this sign tends to expand everything. So your mind will be kind of racing and thinking about every possibility. Relationships and friendships and connections with others are going to be very important. Financial matters could also be important this month, because Mars is going to leave Aries and go into Taurus, the sign of money, and will also run into Pluto. So I'll get into that in a minute or so. But this is going to be a very important month. Whatever you decide to do here, you're setting the pace for the rest of the month. And so this is going to be a month where you start seeing the future a little bit better. Jupiter is a visionary. And so you may have visions and dreams about the future and what it is that's coming down the pike. So this is going to be a month that it's going to shift things quite a bit. Let's put it that way. All right. So let's dive in a little deeper. Now, on the 2nd, Jupiter in Gemini, trine Pluto in Aquarius. Now, this is a very favorable alignment in astrology. So right away, on the 2nd day of the month, we have the Jupiter in the first house at 1 degree, trining, which is 120 degrees away, to Pluto. So something in your identity or where you're going, maybe you're doing some light traveling, maybe you're considering education of some kind, or classes where you're teaching classes. But whatever it is, it seems to be very favorable. Okay, so communication, traveling, exploring, teaching, learning looks really good around the beginning of the month. So many of you probably already started it because of the Sun and Venus going through the first house. But this is going to help you even more with this alignment. So it's feeling lucky, feeling like you're making a difference. You feel like you're accomplishing something and you're moving in a new direction. That's how I would look at this. Okay. So Mercury enters Gemini now. Now everything is starting to align for you. Mercury enters its own sign. So here is when the communication starts going through the roof. And as you can see here, Mercury and Jupiter are going to be conjunct for at least a couple of days. So you may have trouble sleeping. Your mind will be on overload. The need to express yourself, communication, being on the cell phone, being on the computer. This is all going to go up tremendously. So prepare yourself. That's all I could say. Slow down, try and relax, do the best you can. Realize that the energy is going to be really strong. So this is a major turning point, just as you can see here, just on the 3rd of the month. So the energy is definitely building. And then it builds even more on the new moon in Gemini on the 6th. Here it is at 16 degrees. It's going to be conjunct Venus right there at 16 degrees. So anything to do with partnerships, relationships, people in your life, this is all on the table right now. And so it's going to be very important. There's lots of conversation in the air at this point. Now, there is one downside here, is that the new moon will be squaring Saturn at 18 degrees right there. So this could be a little bit of confusion going on either with government or your local government, or with your career, or with somebody in your life, male-oriented. Could be a father figure, could be a husband, could be a brother, whatever. This is going to be highlighted as well. So you may be so overwhelmed. Maybe your business is doing so well that you have so many clients. Or if you're working for a company, there may be some restrictions or things that are changing there. So it's part of that dynamic. Remember, anything is on the table here with all this energy in your first house. And of course, it may not sit very well for you, even though it may look pretty dark or restrictive in some way. This is also an opportunity to reinvent yourself. So look at it from that perspective. And you guys are pretty open-minded. So I'm sure you guys will figure it out. And so let's see what else we got. Okay, now Mars enters Taurus on the 9th. Now the energy starts to shift. Mars in Taurus is definitely slower in pace. It's in your 12th house of limitations. And so this could be you thinking a lot about money and investments, and all kinds of opportunities are coming your way. What can you do? How can I market myself? What else do I need to do? And your motivation may be different. And so especially when Mars, as you can see here, 0 degrees, is going to start squaring Pluto. And that's on the 11th. But as soon as it gets in here, about a week or so, it's going to be a little challenging. The energy is going to feel a little weird and wonky, like you're trying to move forward and you can't, or you're feeling these obstacles, or people are just getting in your way, and they're ignoring you, or whatever it is, But you'll be pushing your way through all of this. But here's the big alignment, exact on the 11th, Mars in Taurus square Pluto, right there, 1 degree, 1 degree. So this has to do with sense of direction. Teaching, classes, other people around you. Politics, could even be politics. I mean, the political theater is going to be pretty big this year. So, but Mars in Taurus is pretty relentless, and it's pretty set in its ways. So we'll see this square here, how it's going to unfold, and we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Okay? But it is going to be a little tricky, so I'm just preparing you. Now, Venus enters Cancer along with Mercury right there. So this is the energy starts to shift once again into the 2nd house of income and values and investments. And Cancer tends to be more of a nervous energy. So I'm going to say that you're either concerned about financial matters or investments at this time. And it could involve either a sibling or a family member. It could have something to do with real estate, could have something to do with your security, and a partnership. So there could be a lot of going on here. Could be something to do with the mother. Cancer rules the mother. So, but the energy still looks pretty good because Venus is in the 2nd house, which kind of makes it more beneficial for new opportunities to come your way. Okay, maybe something from the past is showing up. There is some favorable alignments to Mars, so the motivation should be pretty good. You got Jupiter in the 1st house, so you're feeling a little bit more fortunate and lucky. And so this could help you out a lot. Okay, so at first you may feel a little restless and nervous and oh my God, how am I going to pay the rent type of thing? Or it could be a new opportunity or something new around the house that you haven't considered before. If you're in real estate, this could be very favorable. Now, the Sun enters Cancer around this time, normally around this time, marking the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. This will definitely help out a lot. The Sun's energy in the 2nd house is very beneficial. And so there's creativity here. There's lots of creativity. The juices are flowing. You're wanting to do, you're wanting to see, you're wanting to go and explore. Again, it has to do with feelings, emotions, real estate, family dynamics, foundation, all of this stuff. And it's in the 2nd house, so it may have to do with partnerships, romantic partnerships, business partnerships, family dynamics. All of that stuff is on the table as we see the Sun going into Cancer. Okay, the full moon also happens right around the same time. I think it's a day apart on the 22nd. And it's going to highlight your 8th house, once again having to do with finances. It's going to be at 1 degree of Capricorn, so wherever that is in your actual birth chart, that's where it gets activated. And so the 2nd house, 8th house has to do with values, has to do with money, has to do with investments, has to do with how you make your money. And so this definitely could be a bigger concern around this time, especially with all this Cancer energy. But again, it could be something that's out of your control, like the economy or financial markets or news from the clowns in Washington. It could be all of that. Okay, so but keep an eye on this, because don't let it take you down. Don't put too much worry on it, and know that everything will work itself out. Then we also have Saturn, which goes retrograde in Pisces on the 29th. Right here, it's stationary. And so this will stay retrograde for about 4 months or so in your 10th house of career. So this has a lot to do with your career. Where are you going? Is this what you really want? Is it time for a change? What is it do I need to do? Am I in the right field? You'll be questioning all of that. Even though new opportunities and other things may be coming around towards the end of the month, it looks a little iffy, let's put it that way, because of the Cancer energy in the 2nd house and because of Saturn in the 10th house. Now, the plus side is it could also be very fortunate. Like I said, the Sun and Venus in the 2nd house could make things very fortunate. They just come around and things work out. But with Saturn up here, it's just like, I'm not sure, maybe, I don't know, because it's retrograde. And so for about 4 months, it'll be in this retrograde mode. The good news is if you're self-employed, you may have clients from the past that resurface. You may have family dynamics from the past that need to be resolved. All of that stuff. Anything to do with spirituality under the Pisces umbrella. Okay, so there you have the astrology. Stay tuned. I have an important announcement that I'd like to share with you. Have a great month, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hi, thank you so much for watching my monthly astrology. I really appreciate your support over the years. Have you ever considered learning astrology? Well, you're in luck because I've created a full online astrology course in my private community. It's a full 6-module course that takes you from the beginning of astrology, what it all means, the mythologies, the houses, all the way to the more advanced techniques such as progressions, solar returns, how to read transits, how to make predictions. It's all there in this course here. And I even dive into some of the mysterious stuff, what some of the symbolism is all about. So I think you might want to check it out if you're interested. Along with the course, we have a very tight-knit community here where everyone helps each other out. And so if someone knows a lot about astrology, they help other people with astrology. So it's a community that really gets involved and, really wants to learn and help each other out. But as you can see here, I have a whole lot more on this private community. I also have the Inner Circle live calls each week. Now, this is something that I do twice a month on YouTube, but here I do them on a weekly basis. And I talk about various topics. You get to ask me questions, we interact, and we learn a whole lot more than just astrology. So this could be anything from astrology to what's going on in the world, predictions, politics, whatever it is. We talk about it in the Inner Circle calls. Of course, I do have videos here that I do not have on YouTube, so you get those too. And then I've got a private resource vault, which has videos that I suggest watching, books suggested reading, meditations, and more. So if you're interested in learning astrology or want to be part of a great community that's really growing fast, head on over to the link down below and click on the link and join today. All right? Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.